The sun was hot and unforgiving. The desert stretched out endlessly, sand shifting in the wind like waves on a dry ocean. Dr. Lena Hart wiped the sweat from her forehead and looked over at the scanners. Nothing had shown up for hours. The team had been searching for rare minerals, but so far, it found only rocks and more rocks. "This is boring," muttered Ethan Mills, her teammate. He kicked a small stone and stared at the horizon. "Why did we even come out here?" Lena gave a tired smile. "Science doesn't always mean excitement. Sometimes we dig, sometimes we get lucky." Just as she finished speaking, a sharp beep came from one of the machines. The sound was different, steady, urgent. Ethan leaned over. That's new." Lena rushed to the scanner. It showed a strong metallic reading underground. Something big. Not a mineral, not natural. "Get the others," she said quickly. Within an hour, the full team was digging. They brushed away sand and used small tools to avoid damage. The deeper they went, the stranger things became. Smooth black metal, cold to the touch, lay beneath the surface. It curved in strange ways, with no bolts or seams. "This isn't human," said Lena quietly, her voice full of wonder. The others looked at each other, nervous and excited. Word traveled fast. Within a day, government trucks rolled in. Soldiers placed fences around the area. Drones flew above. Scientists from different agencies were flown in. DR, Lena, and Ethan were allowed to stay because they had found the site. "What do you think it is?" Ethan asked, as they watched large machines remove sand from around the object. "A ship," Lena said. "A spaceship, but ... it's old. Maybe ancient." As more of the object was revealed, it became clear it was a full-size ship, about the size of a large house. No engines were visible, no windows, no doorways. It was sleek, smooth, and still untouched by time. The team spent days studying the exterior. Nothing worked to open it. Not heat, not pressure, not chemicals. It was like the ship didn't want to be opened. Then something strange happened. Late one night, Lena stayed alone at the site. She placed her hand on the metal, whispering to herself, "What are you? Who left you here?" Suddenly, the metal beneath her palm glowed faintly, just for a moment, and then part of the wall moved. A line appeared, then a shape, then a doorway. Lena stepped back, heart racing. "Ethan." She called into her radio. It opened. The ship opened. Within minutes, a crowd formed around the entrance. Flashlights lit the inside. The ship was dark, but not dusty. It was clean, like it had been. Waiting, long halls, strange symbols glowing softly along the walls. "Careful," warned a soldier. "We don't know what's inside." Lena moved forward, ignoring the warnings. Something called to her. She walked down the hallway. Lights turned on by themselves. The ship was waking up. "This ship, it's alive," Ethan whispered. Behind her, they reached a large chamber. In the center was a tall glass pod. Inside it, floating peacefully, was a figure. "It's a person," someone said. "No," Lena replied. "It's not human." The being inside was female, tall, with smooth silver blue skin and long dark hair. She was beautiful and strange. With markings on her face and a calm expression, the pod was sealed, connected to cables and glowing lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. A screen lit up above the pod. Words began to form, first in symbols, then slowly in English. Status, life form, stable. Stasis mode. Awaiting command. A chill passed through the room. This was real. The ship was real. The being inside had been sleeping for who knows how long. Ethan stared at the screen. "What do we do now?" Lena looked at the sleeping figure. "We find out why she's here." Back outside, the news had already started to leak. Someone had taken a photo and sent it online. The world went wild. Channels flashed headlines like "Alien ship found in desert" and "Proof of life beyond Earth." Government tried to keep control. They said it was a weather satellite. A training exercise. Anything but the truth. Meant no one believed them. People wanted answers. Inside the ship, Lena and her team began studying everything. The walls had strange designs that shifted when touched. The air was fresh. The systems were working, responding. More messages appeared on the screen's origin. Unknown quadrant. Mission. Classified. Threat level. Pending. It was clear the ship had a purpose. But what kind of purpose? A group of high-level scientists arrived trying to take over the research. But the ship wouldn't respond to them. It only reacted to Lena. "Why you?" Ethan asked. Lena shook her head. "I don't know. Maybe it chose me." The next night, Lena had a dream. She was standing in the desert, but it wasn't Earth. The sky was purple, and stars moved strangely. The alien woman stood before her, eyes glowing, and said only one word. Guardian Lena woke up gasping. She looked at the ship through the window. "Who are you really?" She whispered inside the ship. The lights pulsed softly, like the ship had heard her. The sun had not yet risen when Dr. Lena Hart returned to the alien ship. The dream still echoed in her mind. The woman in the pod had spoken without moving her lips. The word guardian repeated over and over in Lena's thoughts, as if it had meaning too deep to explain. Ethan walked beside her, holding 2 mugs of coffee. "You didn't sleep much." Lena shook her head. "I saw her again, in my dream. I think she's trying to talk to me." They stepped inside the ship, where the lights once again turned on by themselves. The hallway walls pulsed with a soft glow, as if sensing Lena's presence. The other scientists were already at work, setting up scanning devices and trying to understand the ship's systems. None of them had been able to open any new areas. Only Lena had triggered the ship's response. "This place only likes you," Ethan said with a small smile. "Maybe you're part alien." "Funny," she replied, then stopped. "If the ship responds to certain DNA..." Ethan blinked. "You think you're somehow connected to her?" "I don't know," Lena said, looking toward the pod chamber. "But I need to talk to her. We need answers." As they entered the central room, the pod lit up. The alien woman still floated inside, peaceful but unmoving. Lena stepped closer. Suddenly, the screen above the pod flashed. User recognized. Permission. Granted. Unlocking communication link. A soft humming sound filled the room. The pod's surface began to shift. Slowly, a thin line formed down the center. The pod split open like a flower, releasing a wave of cool mist. The woman inside opened her eyes. Everyone froze. She took a breath and stepped forward. Her movement was slow, but graceful. Her silver-blue skin shimmered under the light. Her eyes, large and deep violet, studied the room. When she saw Lena, she tilted her head, then placed her hand over her heart. The ship's voice translated for her. "Greetings, you have awakened me. I am Soraya." No one spoke. Some scientists stared in shock. Soldiers gripped their weapons but held back. Lena took a step forward. "I'm Dr. Lena Hart. We found your ship buried in the desert." Soraya nodded. "This planet is called Earth." Yes, Lena said. "You've been asleep for a long time." Soraya looked around, her expression calm but sad. "Longer than you know." Ethan leaned closer. "Why were you here? Why were you sleeping inside the ship?" Soraya's eyes darkened. "I was escaping. They were hunting me. My ship was damaged. Entered stasis so they could not find me." "Who are they?" Lena asked. Soraya closed her eyes for a moment. "They are called the Voidborn. They consume all light, all life. Once they were few, now they are many. My people fought them. We lost." The room fell silent. Even the machines seemed quieter. Soraya looked at the humans around her. "Your planet is not ready for them. But they are coming." "How do you know they're coming here?" Lena asked. "Because they always follow the trail," Soraya answered. "I came here to hide, but they will find this ship." The team of scientists began talking among themselves. Some were worried, some excited. A real alien, a real threat. It felt like a movie come to life. A general entered the room and pulled Lena aside. "We need to move her to a secure facility. This is too dangerous." "No," Lena said. "The ship listens to her. She belongs here. We can't risk her being a threat. the general replied. Lena looked back at Soraya. She's not a threat, she's a warning. Later that day, Soraya asked to see the sky. Crew helped her to the surface. She stepped out of the ship. Feeling the sun on her face for the first time in thousands of years, she looked at the sky with wonder and sorrow. Your world is beautiful, she said softly, but fragile. Ethan whispered to Lena, I think she really means it. Reporters and news drones hovered far beyond the fenced area. The whole world was watching. Even with military control, people were starting to demand answers. Leaked videos of Soraya had already gone viral. Zer turned to Lena. You must prepare. I can help. My ship holds knowledge, weapons, defenses, but I cannot do it alone. We'll help you, Lena said. The next few days were a storm of meetings, tests, and planning. Soraya began teaching Lena how to access the ship's systems. The ship showed blueprints of machines that could boost Earth's defense systems. Energy shields, gravity weapons, things no human had ever imagined. Some leaders feared these weapons. They wanted them for control. Others believed Soraya's warning. They knew humanity might only survive if they worked together. What happens if we don't believe you? Ethan asked Soraya one night. Then your stars will go dark. She replied simply. Meanwhile, in space, far from Earth's view, something stirred. A small probe, dark and silent, drifted toward the solar system. No lights, no signal, just motion. It had followed the same trail Soraya had once left behind. It was not alone. Back on Earth, Lena sat inside the ship beside Soraya. What were you before you ran? Soraya looked at her with quiet eyes. I was a guardian, protector, of worlds, but I failed mine. Now, I will not fail yours. Lena believed her, but time was running out. The desert camp had changed. Once quiet and filled with curious scientists, it was now a buzzing military zone. Trucks came and went, satellites hovered above, drones watched every move. The world was no longer looking for answers, it was preparing. For danger inside the alien ship, Dr. Lena Hart stood beside Soraya. Large screens showed blueprints for weapons, energy shields, and defense grids. The ship was helping her understand alien systems. Human engineers, still shocked by the technology, listened carefully and took notes. Our computers can't handle these designs, said one technician. Sarah touched a console. Glowing lines ran across it. She looked calm but focused. This ship can share processors with your machines, but your planet must trust me. Ethan walked in holding a stack of tablets. More questions from the Defense Council, he said. They want to know how quickly we can build these weapons. And if you're hiding anything. Soraya didn't even look up. I am hiding only one thing, fear. I've seen what comes. It is worse than your leaders can imagine. Outside the ship, the general paced near his tent. He was still unsure. He didn't like giving power to someone not human, and he didn't like how the people of Earth were beginning to see Soraya. As a hero, news networks had started to call her the Guardian. People held signs outside bases. Trust her and save us, alien lady. It was spreading faster than any official message. That night, Lena sat beside Soraya under the desert stars. They both looked up in silence. What were they like? Lena finally asked. Your people. Soraya's voice was soft. We were thinkers, builders, not perfect, but peaceful. We believed we were safe, until the Voidborn came. Ow. They do not use weapons like yours, she said. They eat light, energy, memory. They spread like disease. They don't want power. They want silence. They want to erase everything. Ethan joined them. And you think they'll come here? I know, Soraya said. My ship left a trail in space. They can follow it. They are slow but steady. When they arrive, your world will be tested. Suddenly, the ship's lights blinked rapidly. Alarms hummed. Lena and Soraya ran inside. "What's happening?" asked Ethan, close behind. A screen lit up with new words. "Warning. Unknown signal detected. Object entering solar system. Is it them?" Lena asked. Soraya stared at the image.
Us.
A small, dark probe was moving closer to Earth. Yes, a scout. Back. At the base, the general was informed. He stormed into the ship. "Is this your doing?" he shouted. Soraya turned to him, voice calm. "They have arrived earlier than expected." "We're not ready," he barked. "We don't even know if we can fight." "And learn fast," she replied. After a long meeting, world leaders agreed to begin full defense construction. Our countries shared materials and engineers. Fear was a strong motivator. Space stations activated new shields. Satellite weapons were tested. And Soraya's ship became the heart of the operation. Over the next few days, Lena and Soraya worked without rest. Energy converters were installed on Earth's orbit. A pulse cannon was tested on the moon's surface. Earth was changing fast. Alien ship had another surprise. A training room, hidden deep inside, opened only to Lena. Inside, it projected holograms of void-born battles, massive shapes with twisting limbs, silent weapons, and black energy that pulled matter apart. "You can't beat them with numbers," Soraya explained. "Only with unity, strategy, and sacrifice." Ethan watched as Lena learned to control a suit made from the ship's tech. It moved with her thoughts, responding faster than any machine on Earth. "You're becoming a soldier," Ethan said. "Never wanted to be," Lena replied, "but now I have to." Meanwhile, the black probe continued moving. It reached Mars and scanned everything. No messages, no light signals, just scanning. And waiting. Soraya stood before the World Council. Through a live broadcast, she spoke simply. "Your time is short. But your strength is not your weapons. It is your people. Fight as one, and you might survive." Millions watched. Many believed. Some still feared. The probe finally moved closer to Earth. As it neared, Soraya's ship activated its outer defenses. Massive light beams shot into the sky, creating a warning shield. "It won't attack," Soraya said. "Not yet. It's just watching." But something else began to happen. The probe sent a signal. It bounced through satellites, entered servers, and began corrupting systems. Power plants failed. As cities went dark, planes were grounded. "They're testing us," Ethan said. "Yes," Soraya replied. "And they are learning quickly." Governments responded by cutting connections, isolating systems, and using analog tech. Old machines were brought back. People lit fires, used radios, and worked by hand. Even in chaos, humanity adapted. Lena watched it all and felt hope. "They want to erase us?" she whispered. "But we're still here." The alien ship pulsed softly. A new screen lit up with a countdown. Arrival estimate, 27 days. Lena looked at Soraya. "We don't have much time." Soraya nodded. "But we have. Enough if your people. Stay strong." The countdown had begun. 27 days until the Voidborn arrived. Each hour felt heavier than the last. Across the globe, people stopped arguing and started building. Factories ran non-stop. Old rivalries faded as countries shared knowledge and resources. Everyone had the same goal, now dash survive. In the middle of the desert, the alien ship was no longer just a curiosity. It had become the center of Earth's defense. Engineers, scientists, and soldiers worked day and night under its guidance. The ship shared designs for energy shields, powerful cannons, and communication jammers. Some of these things seemed impossible, but they worked. Soraya spent most of her time inside the ship, helping humans learn how to use the technology. She spoke with calm confidence, but Lena could see the worry behind her eyes. "You're scared?" Lena said one evening as they reviewed defense plans. Soraya looked at her. "Yes, I've seen what they can do. They don't fight like you expect. They don't talk. They don't pause. They erase." "But we have you," Lena said. "And you have each other," Soraya replied. "That is more important." Ethan walked in, holding a datapad. We finished testing the orbit shield. It worked. It blocked a full satellite strike. Soraya gave a small smile. Then Earth takes its first true step. Meanwhile, strange things began happening around the world. Skies changed color briefly. Birds flew in strange patterns. People reported hearing soft hums at night, like whispers in the wind. Scientists checked the atmosphere. Nothing was wrong. The signs were clear. The Voidborn were close. Then came the first real attack. A space station over the Pacific went silent. Cameras showed a black mist entering the area before cutting off completely. No explosion. Number 2000. Debris, just silence. They took it, one technician said, like it never existed. Panic spread for a moment. But Soraya appeared on live broadcast again, her voice steady. They test you. Do not let fear guide you. Your strength is in your will. People listened, not because they were no longer afraid, but because they didn't want to give up. In the desert, the alien ship opened another chamber 1, filled with armor suits made from living metal. They were designed for a special kind of fight, not just in space or land, but in gravity-twisted zones created by Voidborn energy. Selected a team. Lena was one of them. Me, Lena said, surprised. You opened the ship, you bonded with it. It trusts you, and so do I. Ethan, standing nearby, smiled. I guess you're a soldier now. Not a soldier, Lena said. A defender. Training began at once. The suits were fast, light, and responded to thoughts. Lena learned how to move through warped fields, how to block energy pulses, and how to strike where light bent strangely. The training was exhausting, but she didn't stop. Across the world, humanity kept building. Underwater bases were built to protect survivors. Mountain bunkers were filled with supplies. Even schools taught basic survival tactics. People were not waiting anymore. They were acting. On day 12, the sky over the Atlantic darkened. Something large entered the atmosphere. It didn't burn like a meteor. It moved slowly, twisting clouds around it. Air traffic was halted. Ships returned to port. Everyone watched. A massive Voidborn scout ship appeared. Its surface was black, absorbing all light. It hovered silently above the ocean, watching Earth launch drones to observe it. They vanished. Then they launched a warning shot, just one missile. The Voidborn responded not with weapons, but with silence. The missile vanished midair. The ocean beneath the ship turned dark and still. Then, without sound, the Voidborn ship vanished. Two, sir, stood before a global council that night. They study you. They are not ready to destroy yet. But they will. Can we stop them? One leader asked. Yes, she said. But not alone. Not with old thinking. Lena stepped forward. We've come together once. We can do it. Again, as the final weeks passed, the ship began building something new. A massive beacon. Soraya called it the Pulse Core. It would send a signal into space, warning the Voidborn that Earth was no longer helpless. It's risky, Ethan said. If they weren't sure we were here, this confirms it. They already know, Soraya said. But this will tell them you are ready. The beacon was launched on day 20. It reached space and activated. A bright ring of light spread out in all directions. The message was clear. Come, but be warned. The response came quickly. From deep space, dozens of red points appeared on sensors. Voidborn ships were on the move. Heading straight for Earth, Sarai gathered the defenders Lena, Ethan, and a few others who had completed the suit training. She looked at each of them. This is the edge of your world, she said. If they pass, there will be no Earth. You are the line. Lena nodded. We won't let them through. Ethan tightened his gloves. Time to show them what humans are made of. The countdown dropped to 5 days. Humanity stood ready. The sky turned quiet just before dawn. No birds flew. No winds moved. It was as if the Earth itself was holding its breath. 5 days had passed since the pulse beacon had been launched into space. The answer had come fast and loud. The Voidborn fleet was coming from space stations to mountain bases. Everyone on Earth prepared for the final moment. Every screen showed the same countdown. Arrival in 12 hours. It blinked in red, reminding everyone that time was running out. Inside the alien ship, Lena stood in the armor chamber. Her suit had changed. It now fit her body perfectly like a second skin. Glowing lines ran across the metal. It was alive, just like the ship. "How do you feel?" Soraya asked. Lena took a breath, nervous but ready. Ethan walked in, adjusting his own suit. "You always say that when we face something crazy." Smiled, because it's always true. Outside, the ship's hull had shifted and opened like petals. Underneath was a hidden weapon, long and sharp like a blade stretched across the sky. It hummed with energy. The humans called it the Fang. "This will strike first," Soraya explained. "But it is not enough. The Voidborn will adapt. They always do." "Then we hit them again," Ethan said, "and again, until they stop adapting." Earth's defenses had been positioned in layers. Orbit shields, plasma stations, drone swarms, ground cannons, and sea towers. But no one truly knew if it would be enough. High above the planet, sensors picked up movement. The Voidborn ships had entered the solar system. They were shaped like twisted shadows, stretching and bending light. They made no sound, sent no messages. They just moved closer. News channels turned silent. People lit candles, held hands, or simply stared at the sky. Religions united in prayer. Scientists hoped their numbers were correct. Children asked questions their parents could not answer. Lena stood in the command room of the ship with Soraya and the defense team. Large screens showed the incoming fleet. 50 ships. Maybe more, all different sizes. The biggest one was the length of a city. "We don't need to destroy all of them," Soraya said. "Just the command ship. If we do that, the others will fall apart. How do we find it?" Lena asked. "It will find you," Soraya said. "They always send their leader forward when they think victory is easy." The countdown hit 1 hour. The Voidborn ships entered Earth's orbit. Defense satellites activated. Shields buzzed too. Life. The sky flickered with protective energy layers. Then the first strike happened. A Voidborn probe darted through the shield and crashed into a satellite base. It didn't explode. Instead, it spread a black mist that melted metal like wax. Earth responded. Plasma turrets locked on and fired bright beams. The first Voidborn ship was hit hard. It cracked, then folded into itself like paper. The humans had scored their first kill. Yes. Someone shouted in the control room, but the celebration was short. The other Voidborn ships changed shape. Mid-flight, their armor shifted, their shields adapted. The next round of plasma fire did less damage. "They're learning," Lena whispered. Soraya nodded. "They always do." Then the real battle began. Voidborn ships rained dark energy beams onto the orbit. Human fighters, piloted both by AI and brave volunteers, rushed to intercept. Explosions lit up the sky like a firestorm. One by one, defense layers began to fall. But the humans didn't stop. The alien ship finally launched, with a blast of light. It rose into the air and entered space, followed by Lena, Ethan, and the rest of the armored team. They flew alongside the ship like stars with wings. "Target the leader," Soraya said, and there comes. "Strike hard, strike fast." The biggest Voidborn ship moved toward Earth like a slow shadow. Weapons grew from its sides, long claws of pure energy. It aimed at the Earth's surface. "If that fires," Ethan said, "millions will die." "Not if we stop it first," Lena said. The alien ship charged the Fang, a beam of light, sharper than any sword, cut through space and sliced into the massive Voidborn leader. It roared not with sound, but with force. Waves of black energy lashed out. Lena and her team moved in. They dodged blasts, used their armor to bend gravity, and fought through smaller defense drones. One by one, the team broke into the command. Ship. Inside, the walls twisted, the space bent. Time felt strange. Lena focused. The ship tried to confuse them, but her armor adjusted. Guided by Soraya's knowledge, they reached the core. It was alive. A beating black heart made of shifting. Shadows hit it together. Lena shouted. They focused their weapons and fired. The core cracked. The command ship began to collapse. Lights inside blinked wildly. Pieces of the ship fell apart. Outside, the rest of the Voidborn fleet froze for a moment, then began to break. Apart? Without their leader, they were just shadows. Soraya's voice came over the comms. You did it. The alien ship protected Earth from the final blasts as the remaining Voidborn vessels crumbled and vanished. The sky turned quiet again. Lena floated in space, watching it all. Is it over? Ethan asked. Lena looked down at Earth, glowing blue and whole. For now. The silence after the battle was deep and strange. Earth had survived. Space, which had been filled with fire and shadows only hours ago, was now calm and cold. Broken pieces of Voidborn ships drifted like dust across the black sky. Some burned. Up in the atmosphere, others simply vanished. From space, the planet looked peaceful again. Blue oceans, green lands, clouds like soft cotton. It was hard to believe that the world had come so close to being erased. Lena floated just outside the alien ship, her armor still glowing from battle. Her body ached, her heart raced, but she was alive. They all were. His voice came through. We're still here. Yeah, Lena replied softly. We made it. The alien ship pulled them back inside. The armor disconnected, releasing the human defenders one by one. Technicians, soldiers, and scientists greeted them with cheers and tired smiles. The entire world was celebrating. Soraya stood at the center of the command deck. Her silver blue eyes glowed gently. She looked at Lena and bowed her head. You saved your world, she said. You did what others could not. We didn't do it alone, Lena replied. You helped us, your ship helped us, and we did it together. Soraya smiled. That is why you succeeded. Back on Earth, the news spread like fire. E-Port cheered in the streets. Lights flashed from cities to villages. For the first time in history, every corner of the world celebrated one victory dashed together. But not everyone felt safe yet. Leaders asked questions. What if they come back? What if there are more? How long until the next attack? Soraya met with them, standing before the United World Council. The Voidborn are not gone forever, she explained. They are like a storm. Sometimes they retreat, sometimes they return. But now, they know Earth is not easy prey. Can we stop them again? One leader asked. Yes, Soraya said. But you must not fall apart. You must keep learning, keep building. Your true strength is not your weapons. It is your unity. After the meeting, Lena and Ethan walked through the desert base. Everything felt different now. Soldiers were packing up. Scientists were smiling. Kids drew pictures of the alien ship and the light warriors. As they now called Lena's team, never thought I'd be in a child's drawing, Ethan said, laughing. Never thought we'd be heroes, Lena replied. The alien ship, now fully awake and connected with Earth's systems, became a symbol of peace. It was moved to a new, protected site, not hidden away, but placed at the center of a new learning center. People from every country came to see it, to study, to learn. Soraya stayed. Many expected her to leave, but she said something simple. I lost my home. Now I will protect yours. She helped humanity unlock more secrets of the ship. Energy sources that could replace fossil fuels, healing tech that could cure diseases, and defense systems to protect the skies. But more than anything, she taught them hope. Lena and Ethan were offered high positions in the new Global Defense Agency. They both accepted. But they made one request they wanted to keep working in. The field, not just behind desks. We've seen the stars, Lena said. We want to help others get there. 1 year later, a new spaceship launched from Earth. It was built using both human and alien technology. It was faster, stronger, and smarter than anything built before. It carried scientists, peacekeepers, and explorers. Its mission was not war, its connection, as it rose into the sky. People around the world watched and clapped. They knew this ship was a message, not just to the Voidborn, but to the galaxy. Earth is ready. Soraya stood beside Lena as they watched the ship disappear into the stars. What do you think is out there? Lena asked. More than you expect, Soraya replied. Some friends, some threats. But you're not alone anymore. Lena looked at the stars. It didn't look cold or scary anymore. It looked like a path. Ethan walked over, handing both of them mugs of tea. So what now? Lena smiled. Now we build. Now we learn. And when the next visitor arrives, we'll be ready. The alien ship in the desert pulsed softly like a heartbeat. Earth had changed forever, but it had also found its voice, not one of fear, but of strength, unity, and hope.